Are you moving to Northern Virginia and are looking for a place that's more energetic, lively, maybe even a little bit urban, but outside of DC? Well, welcome to Arlington, Virginia. Hey everyone, this is Paul Kim, your favorite Northern Virginia realtor, and today we are going to talk about the amazing urban energy that you will find here in Arlington, Virginia. There's a reason why Arlington is one of the hottest places to live, work, and even play here in Northern Virginia. So just a quick overview of Arlington. Arlington is one of those places that's kind of an urban suburban hybrid. You're pretty much just outside of DC in Virginia, so you get some of that city vibe, but because you're further west, you're gonna get more of a suburban feel as well. In fact, a lot of people in DC sometimes move out to Arlington for that very purpose. They don't want to quite get into the suburban areas of McLean, Great Falls, Fairfax, that west side where a lot of suburbanites like to live, a little bit quieter, but they also don't want the hustle and bustle of the urban center of DC. So they just move across the river into Northern Virginia, into Arlington. What's great about Arlington is that there are a bunch of diverse neighborhoods. It's not just one style of urban/suburban neighborhood. There's another video that talks about some of the most popular neighborhoods, which we could link up here. But in general, there is a lot of diversity, especially if someone is more into the urban energy. It's well connected by metro, pretty walkable. If you have a car, there's definitely areas that you can drive around as well. In general, Arlington is super diverse. It has that energy that you're looking for, and it's the hottest place to live in Northern Virginia for a reason. So whether you're into rooftop brunches, cycling and walking the trails, having some co-working spaces with people that you may or may not know, Arlington has it, so this may be the place for you. I'm going to start by telling you about 5 different neighborhoods and just some short highlights about each individual one in case one of them might be a better fit for you than for the others. The first one is the Clarendon and Courthouse area. So Clarendon and Courthouse, you're going to find a lot of young professionals. There's going to be a lot of rooftop bars for you to be able to hang out at, grab a drink after work, or even have some co-working space, happy hour, whatever it might be. There's a lot of them. You're going to have Whole Foods, a bunch of gyms, and there is a lot of nightlife if you're into that as well. Some specifics, you're going to see the Crossing at Clarendon, and there's a ton of local happy hour spots that you can look through, but I'm not going to get into all of them because there are so many. But if you are interested in more specifics, feel free to reach out to me and I will give you more information than you could ever ask for. Neighborhood 2 is going to be Rosslyn. Now, Rosslyn, you're going to find a lot more high rises. It is a tech and startup hub, so there's going to be a lot of small businesses, and that's also the kind of energy that you're going to feel around that area. Because of its proximity in Arlington, you can also walk to Georgetown, which, I mean, people just love hanging out there as a small town near DC, lots of restaurants there as well. Again, the point is that it's very walkable, and Georgetown is another place where people love to be. You have the Rosslyn bid events, you have Gateway Park, and you also have lots and lots of observation decks. Later we'll get into a little bit more about what the bid events and Gateway Park is, but for now we'll leave it at that. Neighborhood number 3 is Ballston. One of the highlights of Ballston is Ballston Quarter. There is a food hall, there's a skating rink, and of course where you find skating rinks and food halls, there's going to be a lot of events that go with that. There's a large tech scene. And in terms of the residences, there are a lot of rentals as well as new developments in Ballston. Number 4 is Shirlington. Shirlington is a more low-key neighborhood, not quite as urban as some of the other ones. It's very dog friendly. It's artsy if you're into art. There is the Signature Theater in Shirlington. There's tons of restaurants, cafes, and it even has a little walkable charm. And the last neighborhood that we're going to talk about for now is Pentagon City / Crystal City / National Landing, which all kind of refer to the same area. This is the area where Amazon HQ2 is. Now, phase 1 has been completed in 2023. The next ones are currently on hold for various reasons, but the plan is for it still to be developed. Now, that's obviously going to add to some of the urban energy because there's going to be a lot of jobs, and with jobs, there's going to come people, and of course, all the infrastructure that's necessary to support those people. Aside from Amazon HQ2, you're also going to find the Fashion Center Mall, Med Park, and there's just going to be a boom of new development. Again, because of all the jobs and the people that HQ2 will bring, that's probably going to contribute to that. Those are 5 of the more popular areas to live in Arlington, especially if you're more into the urban lifestyle. Now, if you're thinking about urban, you're also not just thinking about the neighborhood you're living in, but also the things to do. So here are the things in Arlington that are important to having an urban lifestyle and an urban feel, and that might be important to you. First, let's talk about some of the arts and culture that you might find in Arlington. If you're into the arts, one of the main points of interest for you will probably be the Signature Theater, where you're going to see a lot of your local musicals and plays. There is also the Arlington Cinema and Draft House, as well as the Arlington Arts Center, where you get a lot of exhibits as well as classes if you want to learn something about them. One of my personal favorite parts about living in an urban area is the access to different types of food. Now, the list of the amazing cuisine in not just Northern Virginia, but specifically in Arlington is pretty much endless, and I've tried them all, but also am constantly exploring and diving into new foods because I love food. I'm not gonna list them all, but just a few of them for you. They have Ambar, you have Buena Vida, you have the Salt Line. I mean, you're gonna have overall diverse cuisine. You're gonna have food trucks, fine dining. There's a rooftop dining at different restaurants. It's the kind of food and the experiences that you're able to have when it comes to food and drink is amazing. And I can make a whole video about that in and of itself, which maybe I will, but for now, I'll leave you at that. One of the concerns that some people have about living in more of an urban area is access to the outdoors. You like going outside, but is it just going to be this nasty city that's gross? In fact, it's not the case. In Arlington, there's Longbridge Park, there's the Mount Vernon Trail, which is close by. You have views of the Potomac River. You're going to have access to the W and OD Trail, which basically goes west all the way into Percival. So that's a long trail if you want to walk or bike or run. Overall, there's biking, kayaking. There's a huge running culture here if you are into running. Just in general, being outdoors in Arlington, it will not be a problem for you. There's plenty of options. You're going to enjoy it. And last but not least, a lot of times what people love to do in more urban areas is shopping. You don't have to go all the way into DC or all the way out west to Tyson's Corner. You can just stay in Arlington and enjoy that aspect of life without going anywhere far at all. There are plenty of farmers markets in the area, pop-up events, night markets. You're also going to be you have the Ballston Quarter, you have Pentagon City Mall, you have local boutique shops. There's going to be stores galore. And on top of that, you're going to have your local farmers markets. There's lots of pop-up events throughout the year. And there's also night markets, all pointing to the most important aspect of this video, which is that Arlington does in fact have a lot of urban energy, if that is something that you're looking for when moving to Northern Virginia. So long story short, and I know we didn't go through too many details. Again, there is a lot of diversity in Arlington, Virginia, but this particular video points to the urban side of things. If you are someone that enjoys the urban energy that sometimes being near a city center provides, Arlington could be the place. If you enjoy walkability, safety, access to public transit like the metro, various bus systems, trails to bike on and walk, Arlington might be the place for you. If you are a professional or you have a small family, or if you are downsizing, then the urban energy of Arlington might be perfect for you. And even if you're not, if you just like that urban energy in general, then Arlington could definitely be the place for you. If you have any more questions about Arlington, what you're going to find about Arlington in general is that there is kind of an urban energy, but because it's so diverse, there's a lot more other stuff as well. The truth is, a lot of my clients have fallen in love with Arlington, Virginia. Now, some of it is based on the things that we talked about today when it comes to the urban energy and the young, energetic lifestyle that people can live here. But at the same time, because Arlington is so diverse, it's not just about the urban energy. It's about the food, it's about the people, it's about so much. And I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions because it's so diverse. If you have any questions about Arlington, Virginia or Northern Virginia or the real estate market here in general, please don't hesitate to give me a call, send me a text or email. My team and I will be happy to serve you in whatever way we can. Hope to talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in.